quarter welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. A fantastic game from Derrick Rose in this one.
Well, in terms of his points in the first half, I mean, that's pretty much what we've come to expect out of him.
Yeah, that's an open book on all you need to know about what talent he has. I'll bet he adds a lot more to that tally in the second half.
On the floor for San Antonio, Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. Down low, it's Duncan and Splitter, and it's Leonard in at the 3 slot. Now here's Parker, inside. Well, going into last season, Thiago Splitter accepting a 4-year, $36 million extension, Steve, from the Spurs.
A lot of people questioned the value of that contract, but Splitter more than earned it with his play throughout the regular season and in the playoffs. He's versatile, he can pass, he can defend, and even though his numbers were down a little bit last year, he made tremendous impact just in terms of their interior play.
And Splitter clearly, when you look at him offensively, is not a floor spacer. He's a guy who's going to finish inside. He's going to set solid screens. Even though he plays close to the basket, his field goal percentage dropped by almost 10% over the last couple of seasons. He was once superb in that area. Now he's just rock solid. But with the Spurs, in his role, rock solid is good enough.
And Splitter drops them both.
Splitter still shooting over 90% of his shots in the paint, but less effective down low. Injuries perhaps a factor. We'll see if he can bounce back.
Rose dishes to Gasol. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. Well, something of a bounce-back season for Pau Gasol in 2013-14, Steve, with better health and a return to playing in the middle more often.
Yeah, you know, he dealt with a few nagging injuries, Kevin, but scored better, rebounded better. Nice to see him, show that he's really still an elite big after struggling a couple seasons ago.
And the first one drops.
And for Powell, with an expiring contract, trade rumors swirled all season long. That's nothing new for him. He'd been hearing them for years.
He doesn't get the second one.
And Powell last season making $20 million a year. Hard for the Lakers to trade him when they wanted cap space. In the end, he found a new home and a new start in free agency.
Pass to Duncan. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in. Duncan's got 10.
No matter what they've tried, the D just has not been able to deny them the ball in the paint.
That's been so critical, Clark, because whenever they have gotten the ball into the paint, it's resulted in points, it seems like.
Now here's Noah. Back to Rose. The kick outside to Butler. Just 4 to shoot. The Bulls need to get a shot off here. And that one's good. 14 points for him. Here's Parker. He's got 13. First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Here's Duncan, and the shot is good. Duncan's got the lead up to 8 now for San Antonio.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Outside Rose. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Rose has got 17.
Yeah, he's been the key cog in their offense with the way he shot the ball.
His percentage today beyond impressive. Certainly not his fault the score is what it is.
Now here's Parker, and it's Duncan penetrating. Dishes it to Splitter. Puts it up from 7, and another basket for San Antonio.
Up and in on every one of their first 3 shots to start the second half.
Bulls trail by 8. Outside Butler. The pass to Rose. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Dunleavy kicks to Butler. They get the rebound. A second chance effort. Dives for it, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it. Taj Gibson's checked in for Pau Gasol.
Coming onto the floor for your Bulls, Taj Gibson.
A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. Rose against Parker. Green up on top. Duncan with a screen on Gibson. Back to Parker. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. The Bulls have gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Gibson with the screen on Parker. The feed to Dunleavy. The 3. And Splitter pulls it down. Splitter's got his 4th rebound in this one. Parker with it. And Rose picks him up defensively. Parker kicks to Leonard. Back to Parker. Outside, Green. Passes it to Duncan. Parker outside. Shot clock at 5. 13 feet away. And that one's good. Parker's got 15 points.
You know, for a long time, people would think about the Spurs as a slow-it-down team, but they've had an explosive offense the past few seasons.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. Last season with the Spurs, they were second in effective field goal percentage. Top 3 as a team and a ton of other offensive categories, too. The analytics really supported what they did with the record.
Well, they play a lot faster pace than you would expect, and they're smart. And the shots they want to get are the ones that they take. I mean, they're always looking to have the ball find the best shot for their team. And it's very rare that that team would collectively go cold because of the ball movement and the quality offensive players they have.
Now here's Gibson. He kicks to McDermott from the arc, and that one's good.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Spurs leading by 7. Parker outside. He feeds it to Duncan. From 10 feet out, and it's good on the assist by Parker. Parker's got 6 assists in the game. Well, Chicago's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. McDermott with the screen for Rose. And Leonard with the block. And they'll keep possession. McDermott can't get it to go. San Antonio's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. Outside, Ginobili. Here's Duncan. And at last, they get one to fall. Duncan's got 16 points. Bulls trail by 11. Outside Rose. He dishes it to McDermott. Pass to Gibson. McDermott with the screen for Gibson. Kicks it to McDermott. And he sinks the shot coming off the strong pick. McDermott's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And that's why teams emphasize the use of screens and picks, just to get you some open looks like that one.
Duncan with the screen for Leonard. And Ginobili wide open. He shoots. Cans it from downtown.
For 3.
He's got 8.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a nice look.
Poor job by the defender to not fight over or around that screen.
Noah with a screen for Rose. The dish to McDermott. From deep. And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That is his first foul of the game. So for the Bulls, Tony Snell comes in for Jimmy Butler, and it's Heinrich in for Rose. The Spurs also changing it up. Boris Diaz checked in for Splitter. Bellinelli comes in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Mills in for Parker. Spurs leading by 12. And Mills kicks to Duncan. Tries from 10, and he gets it to go. Duncan's got 10 points here in the second half.
Boy, I tell you what, he's having one of those days where if he takes it, he makes it.
Gibson setting a pick for Heinrich. It's stolen. And now in transition is Mills. Here we go. Lets it go from 14. And he gets it to go. 10 points for Ginobili.
I think he anticipated that the defense would be there, and that's why he leaned in like that.
Heinrich passes to Noah. To end the run. That's good on the jump shot. Noah's got his second basket.
One of the reasons they're behind is because we haven't seen enough of that. He needs to become a bigger part of the offense.
Well, with Derrick Rose out of commission last season, the Bulls again look to run their offense through Joakim Noah in the high post. He assisted on almost 25% of their made baskets when he was on the floor.
Here's Mills. 4 on the shot clock. Spurs passing it around. And again, it's the Spurs from deep.
Solid work right there. And again, the field goal percentages. Look at the discrepancy between these two teams in the second half.
Well, you're right. We've got one team moving crisply to get good shots and the other team just a bit stagnant.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
And Noah last season becoming the first center to lead his team in assists in over 2 decades. Tallied 14 assists in 1 game. I mean, that was the first time in 35 years a center was able to do that.
Mirotic is checked in for Noah. Bulls trail by 17. Now Heinrich. He has 5. McDermott with the screen for Heinrich. Clock at 6. Feeds to McDermott. Shoots. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. McDermott's got 7 points. And Joakim Noah the highest assist average since Vlade Divac over a decade ago.
And he became only the 5th center in NBA history to average at least 12 points, 11 boards, and 5 assists per game. That's pretty impressive, partner.
You know, it's really hard not to notice the difference in the passing of these two teams today.
Yeah, look at the discrepancy in the assist column between these two teams.
Now here's Heinrich. And here is Mirotic. Pass to McDermott. Dishes it to Heinrich. Snell kicks to Mirotic. And he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down. San Antonio leading by 15. Here's Mills. He's got 5. Diaw, the screen. Here's Ginobili. Rebound by the Bulls. And even 3-on-3 break. Heinrich with it. Picked up by Ginobili. Mirotic sets the screen for Heinrich. At the top of the key, Mirotic. Mirotic, Clark, the first ever 2-time winner of the EuroLeague Rising Star Award. Certainly one of the most accomplished European prospects to enter the NBA in quite some time.
And you know, Kevin, his game has been compared to Dirk Nowitzki or Danilo Gallinari, and both of those guys are pretty versatile, high-quality, highly skilled players. So Mirotic, a stretch power forward with really good intangibles, too.
And so Mirotic nails both of them.
Well, the Bulls were expected to play a role in free agency this past summer with all the cap room they had. A lot of options in terms of which way they could have gone.
Mills dishes to Duncan. Goes up the baseline. Count the bucket. Duncan's got 12 now in this quarter.
You know, he's showing some kind of a killer instinct this quarter, trying to stretch this lead out.
McDermott with the screen for Heinrich. There's the pass to Mirotic. From the arc. And Heinrich with the basket, the assist from Mirotic. Heinrich's got 8 points. With the Bulls, it was thought that Melo or maybe even Wade could be one of their targets, but Clark, they opted to go big and bring in the former Laker Pau Gasol.
And you know what? To get Gasol in there might seem like overkill with Noah already manning the middle for Chicago, but I tell you what, his skill set will be a nice complement to Noah and the rest of that front line.
A long front line, huh?
Big time.
That's good.
They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
San Antonio calls timeout.
So much can be said about the Spurs' dominance as a franchise. I mean, 15 straight years of winning 50 games or more during the regular season. And, you know, last year, they were at least 500 or better against every other team in the league, and they have been since 1976.
Here's Mills. He's got 5. Ginobili with a screen on Heinrich. Mills passes to Duncan. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And guys, think about the history of the Spurs. They didn't even come into the NBA until 1976 when they made the transition from the old ABA.
Well, you talk about a fan base that is spoiled. I mean, nearly 40 years of beating every team in the league, more than they've been beaten by those teams. So just an incredible record.
The first one falls.
You know, I get the feeling that Tim Duncan would make a mean poker player. With his reluctance to display emotion on the court, it's pretty clear when he's on the court, the big fundamental is all business.
Chicago making a switch here. Gasol's checked in. And so Duncan hits them both.
And you talk about Duncan's reserved demeanor, snubbed from the All-Star game last season, but you never hear him complain. That's just not how he does things.
Now here's Heinrich. He's got 8. Now the feed to Mirotic. Passes it to Gasol. Heinrich outside. 6 on the shot clock. Goes up at the stripe. Here's Gasol. No luck. Nice D from Duncan.
This has not at all been the kind of performance they've needed out of him.
That's good. Bellinelli's got 4 this quarter.
And he was one step ahead of the defense when he fired that pass for the assist.
And for Duncan, as respected Clark as he is, you wonder if he's gotten the recognition that he truly deserves.
Well, it's like a lot of things, Kevin. Sometimes you don't truly appreciate it until it's gone. But he's one of the 10 best players of all time in my book. Consistency, high-level performance, championships, every measure you use to evaluate him makes him one of the 10 best to play.
Here's Mills. Ginobili outside. Duncan with the screen for Ginobili. Diaw with it. Gasol covering. And Diaw kicks to Bellinelli. Goes back up. And Duncan with the layup. Duncan's got 24 points.
They haven't been as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half. They're playing smart with the lead. I like that. They're being very selective and deliberate in their offense. That's a good strategy when you're on top.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
That's his second personal foul.
The Bulls have shot 5 of 8 from the foul line.
At the line for the Bulls, 2 shots.
And he makes the first.
The story in the first half was their low free throw percentage. They've corrected that here in the second half, and hopefully they can build on it as this game continues to progress.
Dunleavy's checked in for Chicago. And San Antonio with the change here, too. Green, he's checked in for Bellinelli. And both free throws good from Heinrich. 27 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Mills with it. He's got 5. Diaw, the screen. Shoots off the screen. Rebound by the Bulls. Gasol's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Now here's Heinrich, covered by Mills. Here's McDermott. Can't connect. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Spurs lead by 14. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this. And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
Well, tremendous point guard play, but that's nothing new coming from him. This is what you expect, the gorgeous feed there.
Here is Rose. D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the backcourt. Inside at the 4 and 5 are Gasol and Noah. And it's Dunleavy in at the small forward position. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Now here's Gasol. He kicks it to Rose. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Noah. And he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket. Noah's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for Chicago. San Antonio leading by 12. Parker outside. He feeds it to Green. Back to Parker. Steps back and fires. Another one falls for San Antonio.
That kind of sums up the defensive effort we've seen here tonight, guys.
The Bulls shooting 53% from the floor. They're locked in. Rose kicks to Butler. The kick out to Rose. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Noah with a screen on Parker. Rose.
Some good play from Rose in this one. He's got 17 points, and he's also been picking up some nice assists here and there, too.
Well, he's going to have to continue to play this way, Clark, because this offense thrives on his passing ability, and they've got it going right now.
In a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Spurs.
Well, the great passing we saw in the first half has carried right over into the second.
Well, it's been a super performance from beyond the arc, too. I mean, they've been raining in those threes.
First free throw is good. That misses, so he splits the free throws.
Chicago really struggled scoring points without Derrick Rose, and that's understandable last year. And against the West, it was even more difficult.
And he may be the guy to put this game even farther out of reach.
Bulls trail by 15. Right side, Rose. To the wing right side. Noah kicks to Rose. Noah dishes to Rose. Pass to Dunleavy. That's a 2 from Butler. And that one's on target from the wing. Now here's Parker. Parker left side. Diaw, the screen. Leonard attacking. It's rebounded by Noah. Noah's got his 6th rebound on the night. Pulls up, high post. That one's good. The San Antonio lead is cut down now to just 11 on the bucket from Rose. Just under 2.5 minutes gone here in the final quarter. Parker against Rose. Outside, Green. Diaw, the screen. It's Parker with the drive. He got right to the cup using that screen. Parker's got 6 points in the quarter.
And their interior defense getting exposed once again. How many open looks at the rim are they going to allow?
Chicago calls timeout.
Well, for Tim Duncan and the Spurs, an incredible legacy of dominance. In his 17 years in the league, the Spurs have never won less than 61% of their games, not to mention, of course, 5 finals appearances and 4 NBA championships.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Pau Gasol. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Thanks, Kevin. Tom Thibodeau had some words for his team in that last huddle. He got after them and told them to turn up the intensity, saying, "We've put ourselves in a corner, and now we've got to fight our way out. Show me what you have. Let's see if we've got what it takes, guys."
Thanks, Doris. And the Spurs have done an amazing job, Clark, over the years surrounding Duncan with the right kind of talent.
And Tim Duncan has done a great job leading and making adjustments in his own game. They're a team with great scouting and development of their players. You talk to players who've been there. That's one of the things they rave about, Kevin, is they get the attention for their individual development. And all of their players were not lottery picks. Most of them were mid, late first-round picks, some second-round guys, and it's just another example of doing it the right way at the highest level.
And here is Noah, following the three-pointer by Tony Parker. There's the pick. Green against Butler. He dishes it to Rose. 4 on the clock. The 15-footer, and the jumper falls for him. Rose has got 22 points.
It's a good thing he showed up today, because without him, this team would be in big trouble.
Rose against Parker. Kicks to Green. Green left side. And again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. I mean, they have to get a hand in his face.
Outside Rose. Noah with a screen for Rose. Floats one up, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. It's on Kawhi Leonard.
Joakim Noah, last season's Defensive Player of the Year, and for the Bulls, it really seemed like their defense and their offense revolved around Noah.
And Joakim Noah, as you said, the Defensive Player of the Year and the assist leader for the Bulls last season, playing the center position.
Yeah, that's why he deserved consideration for a spot on MVP ballots. The Bulls, without Rose, they lost Deng, and yet they still continued to win. I thought Noah's play and his inspiration and his desire played a big role in that.
And so he hits both.
It's been a solid outing for Noah. 8 rebounds and 10 points.
Green kicks to Diaw. Nobody near Leonard. And it's off from three-point range. Bulls trail by 13. Outside Rose. The dish now to Dunlap. Feeds it to Noah. Pass to Dunleavy. 6 to shoot. Rose against Parker. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. Duncan, he's checked in for Boris Diaw. San Antonio leading by 13. Parker outside. Dishes to Green. And the pass to Splitter. He's looking for Leonard and finds him. Just 5 to shoot. Shoots from 12. And all around the rim that time before dropping in. And that's now 26 points for Duncan. Bulls have gone 5 for 9 from the field in the final quarter so far. Rose kicks to Dunleavy. Back to Rose. The feed to Butler. Passes it to Dunleavy. Fires for 3. The shot will not go. And San Antonio will go the other way with it. Green with the ball. Butler covering. Parker passes to Green. And stolen by Butler. And here we go, the Bulls fast break. And he caps off the fast break with a monster slam.
Excellent play there, and coming at the right time too, guys. I mean, they need to string together some defensive and offensive possessions just like that.
You know, and if they do, they're not out of this game yet. They know they've got the ability to mount this comeback if they can continue to bring the energy.
Here's Parker. The Bulls getting the bucket. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Take a look at what Splitter's done.
He has 8 points, and he's blocked a shot today as well.
Well, he showed off how intelligent he is defensively. He understands where the ball is, where players are, what's happening in front of them.
2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. That one misses.
They're really doing a good job working hard to get inside and draw contact, a little more so than they did in the first half.
Well, to keep a lead like this, they should continue to attack the paint like they have been. Don't settle for jump shots. Find your way to the free throw line.
That one's good. The San Antonio lead is cut down now to just 11 on the basket from Rose. San Antonio's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Parker with it. And Rose picks him up defensively. Splitter inside. From down in the low post, it goes. And the Spurs lead by 13. Here is Rose. Rebound San Antonio. Splitter's got 6 rebounds in the game. Parker kicks to Green. Gibson with the steal. Rose against Parker. Butler on the wing. The tray. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got 3 assists now in this one. Spurs leading by 10. Parker dishes to Duncan. Back to Parker. Outside, Green. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Duncan. Bank shot, no good.
He's got a nice touch on that shot normally, but good defense there clogging the lane.
Now Rose. Butler a screen on Parker. Rose kicks to Dunleavy. And the Bulls, another 3.
That's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
Yeah, shoddy defense there. Far too slow to react on the closeouts.
Parker kicks to Duncan. The rebound by Gibson.
Great defense in the paint there, making it tough on the offense.
That's what he brings, a presence. I mean, you saw it on that miss.
What a smooth finish.
Well, he's certainly the one they want on the end of those breaks. He always finishes strong.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
He just is not happy with how his team is executing. And they've been on the wrong side of this run. It's time for a momentum shift.
You know, sometimes just getting off the court, taking a break, and coming back out fresh will give you a chance to pull together.
Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for San Antonio. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Kevin, Greg Popovich was just going over the plan with his team. He said making sharp entry feeds, getting the ball into the post, and getting points on the low block is going to be critical the rest of the way. He also told them that he wants to see multiple passes on every possession. He said that was the key to getting the best shot each time down. So Coach waiting until the final stages to pull a few tricks out of his sleeve. Kevin, let's see if he's made a wise decision.
Great, thanks for the report, Doris. Rose, no good.
Well, with that much space off the pick, you've got to drop that in.
Yeah, you got to make that one. I mean, that's a high-quality shot you should make 9 out of 10 times.
Ginobili, the pass to Parker. Back to Ginobili. Goes up to the stripe, and he hits the jump shot. And now a 9-point Spurs lead.
You know, tired legs can affect you at the defensive end, and I think that's what's happening right here.
I agree, because as much offense as we saw early, we're seeing.
Oh!
Look out.
Wow. Now, Clark, that is just ridiculous.
Absolutely filthy. I don't
come
remember
on.
ever seeing a dunk like that in a game. I certainly can't remember the last time I saw one.
Oh, man, that was just amazing.
Duncan goes in. Another one falls for San Antonio.
You know, that part of the floor, guys, is more or less his real sweet spot, right in his wheelhouse.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They're losing by 9. 1:41 left in the fourth quarter. .141 left here in the fourth quarter. Noah with a screen for Butler. Here's Dunleavy. Takes the three. Shot is good, and the Spurs lead is cut down to just 6 points with the basket from Rose.
They're getting a bunch of their points outside of the paint. 3 of their last 5 buckets are from three-point range.
But the defense isn't making them earn it. I mean, those shots have just come on easy, open looks.
That is good.
And as hot as he's been this quarter, the game plan should be simple. Get him the ball and get out of the way.
Rose, a screen on Ginobili. Butler kicks to Rose. Back to Butler. Dunleavy for 3. Connects! Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
Defensively, they can't afford to back off of him that much. You don't want to be giving up easy threes, especially at this stage of the game.
Parker dishes to Ginobili. Here's Duncan. That is good. Duncan's got 30 points.
An example right there, guys, of how even as their lead grew into a big one, they never started coasting.
That's the truth. I mean, they've been in charge of this game all the way through.
It's good. Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5. 36 seconds left in the fourth. And they go to the intentional foul. Pau Gasol's checked in for the Bulls. And they are in the driver's seat.
Yep, yeah, a basket here, and that pretty much wraps it up.
Parker double teamed. Leonard the pass to Parker. Back to Leonard. Shot clock at 6. And Ginobili wide open. He shoots. His three-pointers off the mark. Here's Gasol. Now Dunleavy outside Butler for 3. The shot is off. And so it's San Antonio with the win. Both teams played well, but these guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, guys, I'm here with Tim Duncan. In a game that is won by such a narrow margin, Tim, how big of a part of this team's identity is playing in these situations and figuring out a way to win?
Huge. It's a huge part of it. We didn't lose our focus. We didn't panic. We just kind of kept on playing, and we're just kind of possession by possession, trying to get stops and push it right back at them.
Well done, Tim. We appreciate it. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doris, for that. And now for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan saying see you next time as we present our Jordan Player of the Game, Tony Parker.